because we're talking power of visual storytelling, right? And so understanding the imagery, it tells the story. For someone who has the brand, you mentioned it before, like they have imagery already and they've started building, and you're bringing in the essence of what they've already started. How difficult is it to like shift or pivot from what once was into something new, something different? Because we can shift and change, and so can our audience. So how difficult, or is it difficult, or how do you shift to move in a different direction so that your audience is still connected to you and the brand?
Oh yeah. So a lot of full disclosure, people come to me when they're ready to evolve. Like something in their business does not align with them anymore, whether it's they're attracting the people who don't necessarily, they've moved on, right? They want a different quality of client or book reader or whatever. And so they're ready. They themselves, I mean, we all evolve as humans, as so will our businesses. So will those needs, those goals, and so are our branding. And that needs to be reflected. And I think what I'm seeing, which is really kind of interesting, is you've already started. Once you've already kind of made that decision, like, okay, things are changing, I'm ready to kind of move forward in a different way. You've already kind of started making that shift by even just using certain words in a different way, talking about things in a different way. When you start creating, say, for example, a whole new brand that really aligns more with what you're doing, you've already probably started kind of attracting those soul clients, those soul readers to you by just how you're describing things and those slight little shifts. People pick up on this. They're a lot more intuitive than I think a lot of people give us credit for. Um, just the words we use to describe things. Essence, for example. I mean, not everybody's going to use that word. It's great to describe, getting to the soul of your magic, your who you are, that differentiator, right? But yeah, I really feel like, we're all going to evolve. And I think once you decide that, you've already started showing that. So once you present the world, hey, this is the new brand, it's not really a total shock to those who are like, oh yeah, I'm with you all the way. This is my person 100%. In fact, they're probably going to be like super complimentary, like, wow, that looks great. That looks so good. It feels more aligned to, or using their own words, right? It feels a lot more aligned to where you're headed, to where I'm headed. So glad we're going on this journey. It's also going to repel, right? I mean, that's the goal too. That's the other side of branding that it's going to do. It's going to push away those who are no longer in alignment, not just through the visuals, but also again through the words you speak, the words you use to, describe, their needs, their goals, and their desires. It's really fascinating to see that. It just once plus two. Um, Once you have something that feels really ooey gooey and just super aligned with you, you're just going to be like, I don't care. I'm
Right.
ready for this.
And so you mentioned, so not only the books, and I talk about this in my community too, like with marketing and our messaging, it does the two things: it attracts and repels. And so with that, the imagery, the words we use, the essence of how we project, how we
Hmm.
show up, all of that is super important. So I'm gonna actually, we have a question in the chat. So this says, if you are writing a book on your life story, sharing family secrets and other truths in order to heal, how do I handle that? I have been through a lot of loss, 15 immediate family members, death in 3 years without losing myself. This will be a book of healing. It's time for me to focus on me and not everyone else. For years, I worried about what people think. It's time to heal and worry about me. Tamara, I shared some of this with you. I have been going back and forth. So how would she brand? She's asking how would she brand a book like that? And some of it, oh, there we go.
There it
But
goes. Yeah.
um, some of it, wait, I was trying to get all of it and I couldn't. It kind of, I guess that's the essence of the question, because it had chopped off some of it. So what would you share? So first you would book a call with Bart. Uh,
Come on down.
part because there's more to it, Wendy. Just in seriousness, is more to it than than just thinking about, okay, like what colors do I use, what imagery. And while that I'm sure will be a part of the conversation,
Hmm.
you really diving into like what do you want your reader to understand, to know early on, with this being the first impression that they will see from you. The visual piece of it, that will be their first introduction to you. So how do you want to attract them? How do you want them to receive you? And so I think, and Barb, I'm turning this over to you. You're the this your area, this your jam. But that's what came up for me. Like it's more to it than just saying, oh, you want to make sure you have red, blue, and green.
Yeah.
Um, More to it. So take it away.
Honestly, you've nailed it right then and there, because that was going to be my first question is like, what is your goal for the reader in this book? Something that I also love to ask is how do you want your readers to feel as they're engaging in every aspect of this book? So not just from reading it, but also how when they interact with that cover, how do you want them to feel? Um, yeah, get really deep into that one and just I'm gonna full disclosure, go to my favorite thesaurus is gonna be wordhippo.com. It comes up with a ton of different like synonyms, you can even throw in antonyms and it's just great. Um, really get clear on how you want them to feel. Then that's where the magic can really happen because you're like, okay, take those words, go to Pinterest, create a mood board, look up what these words are what these words you may come up with. So, and then look for anything that's going to elicit like, visuals. So, you know, branding, interior design, gosh, even like graphic design, things like that. Just kind of, yeah, you want it to be of healing and truth. So I got that. Yes. Okay. So definitely go to Word Hippo. Come up with some words, some more words that you want them to feel like, as they're interacting. Um, and then create this mood board and see what you come up with. So something that I do is I look, I think part of one of my probably the big thing for me is being able to see from the 30,000-foot view. I'm able to see the patterns and be able to distill what that looks like. Oh yeah, I would love to do, I'm happy to do a workshop for y'all. I would love to. This would be fun. Um, it would absolutely be to kind of look at and see, okay, I'm seeing this here, this here. Oh, there's a lot of gold here. Like, okay, it literally like the color gold or something like that, because that may mean some different meanings to you or something like that. And then just pulling what that looks like, you've got a great starting point from there. Then you can kind of, okay, well, kind of mess with the logo now. What does this look like? Or I say logo. It could be for your brand, in and of itself. But I really kind of feel like our books, they also have a logo, right? That title can be an absolute. I mean, look at Pen to Profit. That's that's absolutely a logo in and of itself. Like Tamara can go use that on market, and she has on marketing materials. So you can start playing around with that and seeing what kind of visuals you want to use. Um, Pinterest is so fun. That's a rabbit hole for me. Was that helpful for you, Wendy? I hope that was helpful.
She says yes. Thank you. Hey,
Perfect.
Tamar.
Good.
Yeah. All right. So put your questions in the chat. This is good. So I have another question. In what ways can authors use their personal stories and experiences to build a stronger brand?
Ooh. Okay. I'm going to use a buzzword, but it's true, especially okay, Wendy, this is for you as well. Like you are talking about healing, you're talking about, transformation, all of this good stuff, authenticity. People have been using that word kind of but this is when you are doing the good work of helping others heal, find their path, find their way in one way or another, and sharing your story as part of that is going to be the key to that. Those personal stories, they create that genuine connection with readers. Share it in every way possible that you feel comfortable to sharing it. Like I'm actually doing it myself with like I've shared some things about my past with my biological father and some things like that. You don't want to make them feel like they are I mean, you don't want to focus on that pain too much, right? You want to focus more on that transformation. But sharing your own journey, those challenges, those triumphs, that makes your brand so much more relatable and trustworthy. So huge. It creates that emotional connection too. So, which basically creates that deeper bond between you and your audience. That that bond, that connection, that emotional connection really helps to foster that loyalty and engagement. So, sharing a heartfelt story about how a turning point in your life that led you to the current path that you're on as a healer or a coach, people are going to see themselves. That's the big thing. If they can see themselves in your story and relate, ooh, my goodness, you've got a brand ambassador is what they're actually called, but you've got your soul client right there. They're going to be following you for as long as you're able and ready to have them follow.
Just you sharing, Barb, I'm realizing I'm like giddy a little bit over here because I'm realizing the similarities and the power of the visual storytelling and the power of storytelling in and of itself. So the work
Mhm.
that I do, the work that you do with the words, and then the work that you do with the imagery, just everything that you shared so far, I've communicated just in a different way from storytelling
Yeah.
from story, and I'm just like, I never even thought about it that way. I never thought about it that way.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like because our stories, and this is, I call it our magic story. I mean, it's like for me, it's where if you're looking for your magic story, this is how I guide my clients to find that is it's where your power, your strength was forged in fire. That line of demarcation for you, like, yes, I'm gonna I'm gonna do this, or nope, I'm not doing that anymore, right? That is your brand differentiator right there. Those personal experiences, those stories, they highlight those unique aspects that can just set you apart. No story is alike. You may have a similar audience to somebody. You may also be a coach, but your stories are different, and it
Mhm.
needs to be representative of you in a different way and your magic in a different way. So, oh,
Yeah.
yes, the alignment is so there because it's funny when you're talking about how using the words and things, it's like, that, yep, that checks. Absolutely. Yes. There's so much synergy here. I love it.